Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria, where we are currently running a deficit here, but we're also doing a very large amount of construction. And that's great. We're currently constructing 3.5 pages simultaneously, and we're making fantastic progress on these iron mines and coal mines. That is wonderful. We're very, very happy about that. And we're definitely working down these unemployment numbers. I looked before we unpaused. This was at 7.4. So that's absolutely great. We're making progress on that. That said, it needs more work. That's very clear. So for now, we do want to continue to work on getting our production methods up. That is going to be important. There were some, I believe, that we skipped because we can't do yet. A big part of what we've got right now is lacking rubber. That said, I'm going to get rotary valve engines in here. Yes, that's going to drive up the price of coal, but we're going to be working on that. Rotary valve engines for tooling workshops as well. Yep, that's going to give us an input goods shortage in theory of coal, but I'm okay with this for now. I want to get rotary valve engines on all of these that we can for the moment. Yeah, no rayon for the moment. What else do we have here? We could go to public motor carriages. I don't know that that's actually good for us at this moment. And yes, going to rotary valve engines is going to reduce our number of employees in those locations, which is maybe not the greatest thing in the world. But for now, it'll do. So I'm expecting a coal shortage. Yes. Our trade agreement with the US is at risk of breaking. That's fine. We're working on all of these coal mines. That should be okay. Now, additional coal mines can be built in Hokkaido. We see that they're being built in Sakhalin right now. Infrastructure's at plus 99 there. So let's get all of these coal mines in Hokkaido queued up as well. I actually want these up at the top of the queue. There we go. Now, this is going to be minus 4% construction efficiency, but that's okay. So we're going to get all of our coal mines building here. I want to check in. What happened in Sakhalin and Hokkaido? Why is their infrastructure so much higher now? They've started employing people in the port and in the railway. Okay, that's a really good sign. I'm very happy about that. Now we do have some potential market access issues. It looks to me like broadly it's under control. We could use one additional railway, but that's about it for now. So that looks good for the moment. We're going to be working on a bunch of coal mines here, and that will help with this coal shortage. I don't know if it'll fix it, but it'll help. Russia wants a trade agreement. I'm going to decline that for now. So that sounds good. Import route for radios from the Japanese market. Okay, sounds good. And I do want to start cranking up our barracks organization again soon. Our taxation situation is not exactly where I want it to be. That's very, very true. Our best government acceptability would be 32. Yeah, that's not great. That's for sure. We could go over to laissez-faire. And is that something that we're interested in doing? Maybe. Capitalist investment pool contribution efficiency and shopkeepers. The really interesting thing here to me would be A, the private construction allocation. I don't know if that's good for us right now. The loan interest rate would be nice, but honestly, loans are not the biggest of deals. That's only about half of our deficit right now, which is significant. Don't get me wrong. But keep in mind, we're spending like over $1 million on construction goods right now. If we were to pause our construction, this would be absolutely fine economically. So we don't really have that big of an issue with it. That said, I want to know what's going on with our investment pool. Minus 188K right now. Who would be angry about going to laissez-faire? Radicalizing the rural folk? And the landowners and the trade unions wouldn't like it either. Okay, Sea Lane Strategies has been unlocked. Cool. That's fine for now. We could definitely drop down to Sea Lane Strategies. It'll be a little bit expensive, but that's okay. We'll do it. And I would like to bring our military back up. We're spending so much money on construction right now. So honestly, going to laissez-faire, I think there's reasonable arguments for it. Radicalizing the rural folk would be a bit tough. What is their current opinion at? Let's see here. Rural folk. So their current opinion's at -3 because they're opposing monarchy, landed voting, racial segregation, dedicated police force, and no migration controls. Fair enough. That does make sense. Speaking of which, we're on racial segregation right now. And is there something we can do about that? We could go to cultural exclusion. And I think that's actually slightly better. We would lose more authority. And the radicalism, I think, is kind of a wash. Kind of. Okay. Well, for now, that's reasonably fine. I think our biggest problem still comes down to welfare, and we're working on that. So that'll be absolutely fine. We'll get some industrialist opinion for right now. I think that we're not going to push through a big law change at this exact moment. There are definitely arguments to do it, particularly laissez-faire and getting more private construction going. There are very good arguments for that. I don't think we're quite at a point where we want to do it right now. We're working on all of these barracks. We're only 26 weeks away on our construction queue. I want to check in on taxation capacities. So we could definitely use checking in on employees. Okay, we could definitely use a couple of additional government administrations. And infrastructure here, Chigoku's at 83%. I'm going to build one, but I don't think it's necessary, though. I think we just need to subsidize it. I think that's all that's needed here. So that seems okay. What else do we have going on? Well, in Kansai, we absolutely need to subsidize Kansai. Let's let that get going. Out of curiosity, this would reduce our infrastructure quite a lot. Okay. Well, for now, that's reasonably fine. In Kyushu, that's being expanded right now. In Tohoku, yeah. Arguably, we should subsidize, like, all of these railways. I think a big part of this, though, is the price of coal, although we're no longer running a coal shortage, which is good. So that's absolutely great. Let's subsidize this railway. In Kansai, I mean, we already subsidized it. Let's keep an eye on it for now. Yeah, we've got minimum expected standard of living issues. No doubt about it. What else can we do about that, other than, like, dropping taxes? Which obviously we're not in a position to do just yet. But honestly, it's not going to be too much longer. 21 weeks until we have all of this completed. Seems relatively okay. I want to check in on iron mines. Okay, with all this infrastructure, I think it's fine. I'm going to queue these up at the end of the queue. And that'll be fine. Lead mines, I'm going to queue up at the end as well. Electrical capacitors have been unlocked. That is noted. We'll definitely get some of those production methods going here. Sulfur mines, end of the queue. And fishing wharves, end of the queue. We're just looking to get jobs, right? That's the overall goal right now. And whaling stations, end of the queue. Phenomenal. So that'll be all those resources. Then we can work on agriculture after that. For now, this is reasonably fine. I do want to go in and get those new production methods in. So electric sewing machines sounds great. That's going to raise the price of electricity, which is not surprising. Automatic power looms as well. For chemical plants, we can go to brine electrolysis, which we'll definitely do. And this is going to create some issues for us. Almost certainly we're going to need additional power plants. We'll keep an eye on that situation. Do we want to be on public motor carriages? I don't think so. I'm just going to move this down to make that go away for now. I don't think there's anything really in the rural areas. We're already on electrified fences, so I think that's about the best we can do there. Indeed. Okay, so I expect this to create some electricity issues. Yeah, there's an electricity shortage. So we do need to get some power plants going. Where do we have the most labor? Well, Kansai. The next would be Yangho, but the infrastructure here is not good. So where is Yangho? Down here? Okay, I want to check in on our railway here. We're going to subsidize that. Okay. Next, we're going to build, I think, in Kansai. And I'm going... What is our current shortage? We're currently short by about 14,000. That's a lot. 50 per level does, of course, mean we would need... Zeros are hard. 14,000 divided by 50 is 280 of these. Okay. I'm going to bring this up to 100. So that would be here. In Yangho, I'm going to add 100. In Yeongnam, we're going to bring this up to 100 as well. This is all going at the end of the queue right now. And then I'm going to add an additional 100 in Kanto. So that's going to be a lot, right? But we're going to be working on that fairly soon. So that'll be reasonably fine for right now. Wow, these unemployment numbers are spiking. Okay, noted. We have available jobs, and I'm hoping that people just kind of migrate to them. That would be ideal. What are we currently doing for welfare? 259K? Okay, that's definitely improved. Is that improved because our institution dropped? Yes, it is. Okay, so that makes sense. Reasonably fine for now. Automatic bottle blowers are currently spreading. Looks good. So we're going to be done with all of these barracks reasonably soon. And then we're going to be on the naval bases. And then we have all of these iron mines, lead mines, sulfur mines. So I do want to move some of these power plants up. And I'm going to move up for now just the ones in Kansai. There we go. So we do want to be addressing our power situation. Absolutely. And that will be necessary. We're going to get to work on that. So that'll be 29 weeks until that's done. These government administrations are being worked on. We are seeing our GDP dropping due to our shortage of electricity, which is not shocking. And we'll just continue to work through our construction queue here. 156 weeks at this moment. We are seeing the support for national militia come back up. The radicalism is coming up a little bit too. Honestly, we're really struggling to move our standard of living. But I think it's broadly getting under control. Broadly. I want to check in on Hokkaido here. Fascinating. So in Hokkaido, it's just the upper strata that's struggling here. In Sakhalin, same thing. In Northern Territory, same thing. So it's our upper strata that's mostly struggling right now. Noted. Okay, that's a good thing. So we're definitely making our way through those problems. I like it. We're 24 weeks away from our first round of power plants starting up, and by the time these are done, we should be virtually started on a lot of our iron mines at that point. That said, any of these that are negative construction efficiency, I'm going to move down below the existing power plants in terms of priority. So we're going to do a lot of these moved, apparently. Oh, hello. This moved on me. Cool. Okay, so some of these got moved as well. That's okay. I'm not too concerned about it. Iron mines in South Australia. Yep, those can be moved down in priority. Absolutely. Hokkaido. Looks good. These are fine. We'll move the lead mines in Hokkaido. And in South Australia as well. And this is just about getting more electricity flowing in faster, right? That's the overall idea here. We're also going to move more electricity up in the production queue eventually. Right now is not the time to do that, but we will do that eventually. Sulfur mines in South Australia. Yep, we're going to continue to move those on down. Boy, there's a lot of them. And sulfur mines in Hokkaido as well. Yep, fishing wharves in Hokkaido. And fishing wharves in Northern Territory. Looks good. Additional fishing wharves are going to be moved down. Basically, the rule that I'm following here is just I want to be building at peak construction efficiency. for right now. So that looks good. That moves up our electricity pretty dramatically. Absolutely great. So we've got 1 page, like a page and a half of power plants. And then we're working on just a bunch of barracks and such. So for now, that seems okay. We do see our unemployment heading upwards. Now we're working on naval bases. So our barracks are actually completed at this point. That's a very good thing. And we're not going to need all that many naval bases, to be honest. Those are going to finish quite quickly. So that's really deeply unconcerning. By the time we're done with these power plants, I expect all of the naval bases to be done. So that sounds good. We are not going to enact national militia. So we should probably consider getting some of these guys happier. Would be the way to go, I think. So what's a law that we could pass that would make them happy? Besides national militia. State atheism, we just have an agitator for, and I'm not too interested in getting that done at this point. We're on landed voting right now, and we might want to move into something like universal suffrage. Radicalizing the samurai and landowners. This would just radicalize the landowners. Okay. We could just go down to wealth voting. This would change our government's legitimacy by 5. Census suffrage would change it by 15. Universal suffrage would be the ideal place to go. But radicalizing the samurai and the landowners at this moment is probably not the way to go. So I think we'll do baby steps. We'll go down to wealth voting, and we'll see what happens with that. That would just help our legitimacy by 5, and just that would be great. So these power plants are currently 14 weeks away from finishing. And we absolutely do need to get the power plants under control. There's no doubt about that. So we're going to get that going. We need to get more power. That's very, very clear. The real question now is, when can we change our taxation? That would be amazing to change our taxation. Standard of living is down a bit right now. We'll see what ends up happening with that. 11 weeks on our power plants in Kansai. We're still working on naval bases, although they build so fast. They're almost done. Almost done. They will be done by the time our power plants are. That's quite clear. We have 133 weeks left in this construction queue right now. Social Security investment has dipped on down. Cool. So that puts us down to 135K on welfare. Looks good. So I'm not too concerned about welfare. Subsidies are up there. No doubt about that. The French are embargoing us. That's very rude of them. And there is this movement to preserve landed voting. The landowners are starting up a revolution for it, in fact. They were not supposed to be radicalized, but they are currently angry. What can we do about it? Well, for now, it might not be that big of a deal. 407K individuals become more radical every month. That's insane. If the movement succeeds, it will make 10.2 million individuals more loyal. Interesting. So, does that mean we just drop this? Okay, that just disbanded the political movement. It did not make them more loyal. That is sad. No doubt about that. But it's okay. So these power plants are going to be done in 2 weeks. We are done building our naval bases now. That's great. We're going to get these power plants going here. We currently have about 10 million total unemployed. It's a lot. I feel like we might need more construction here. To that end, if we were to switch over to laissez-faire, that radicalizes the landowners. Okay. So we can't really do that either. I think we just have to expand our construction. Yeah, it's going to be expensive, but I think we got to do it. We need faster construction. I think that's very, very clear at this point. We're not keeping up with the unemployment. That said, a lot of that is due to the things that we were building, right? So we'll see how that ends up going. But we'll get a little bit more construction online here over in Chubu, and that'll get us some additional people employed, in theory. And we're going to get a lot of these iron mines finished up. Yep, that all looks absolutely fine for now. What's not fine is our radicalism. We need to get ourselves a reasonable government. Unfortunately, we just don't have one that is reasonable. The game very much is trying to push us into getting off of monarchy and switching to a republic. It's so much easier to have things under control as a republic. The question is, are we okay with that? I don't know. That's not really what I set out to achieve here. So there is that. Iron mines are finishing on up. And we're getting a lot of them done, in fact. That's all great. Our standard of living is dropping again. Noted. That'll be why our radicalism is going up, of course. So our standard of living just keeps dropping, and I'm pretty certain that this is due to the unemployment numbers. That said, those unemployment numbers have started to drop as well. So getting all of these mines done is going to be very, very good for us. We're also working on fishing wharves, and then we're going to be working on the power plant. So we're chipping through this very, very quickly. That seems okay. So we're going to be maxed on our resources for the time being. And let's check in on our agriculture. So rice is reasonable. I want to sort by earnings here. So 1.21, 1.35 for rice. We're maxed out on dye, of course. Silk is not all that great, so actually rice it is, at least for Yeongnam. I'm going to queue these up at the end. And in fact, we should be in the same situation here. There we go. Tohoku's at minus 404 infrastructure. Okay, Tohoku, where are you? Low market access in Tohoku. Yes. This probably just is requiring more workers in the railway, right? Yeah. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to just subsidize that railway for now. That should do the trick. What do we have for population here? Yeah, we have like 800k unemployed. They were just refusing to work in the railway. Well, more specifically, because it wasn't hiring. So that should be reasonably fine. That should solve that problem. Yongso, let's see what's going on here. So this railway is at 65%. We'll subsidize it. Gwanbuk, what do we got going on here? This railway is being expanded. So I think we're fine there for the time being. Tohoku we've already dealt with, and then we've got Chubu. So what is the problem here? 52%? Just needs to subsidize it. Okay. So coal is the expensive thing here. That is noted. Do we have any production methods that we can use to increase our production here? I mean, diesel pumps. Okay. That's pretty much what we've got, is diesel pumps. Noted. We're maximizing our oil production at this point, I think. We could get, like, flash freezing, I suppose. But that would just reduce the employment. I'm not actually interested in that right now. So for now, this is reasonably fine. 8.55 million, we're definitely seeing our unemployment numbers drop off. That said, we're now building power plants, which are slower constructions. So that is definitely noted. I wanted to check here. Yeah, there's a couple of iron mines here that can be moved up. Phenomenal. And just going through the list here, all of these agricultural productions can be moved up in the production queue, and I'm going to do that. These are labor-intensive areas, and we definitely need to get more labor, right? That's definitely a big thing that we need here. So let's get that moved on up. There we go. So that'll do for now. But we're going to need to expand soon. And the question is, where? Well, we're currently reputable, 8.1, so that needs work. Our biggest issue right now is our deficit, and that probably pretty much comes down to military wages, right? I mean, construction, sure. The construction is just trying to keep up with our population growth, though. So that's fine for the moment. Our literacy is holding pretty steady. It really should be coming up more, but there isn't much we can do about that, I don't think. Oh, we could go to compulsory primary school. Nobody would actually hate it. Let's do it. Let's get compulsory primary school in here. That'll be absolutely great. The landowners are now happy, too, and the samurai have a patriotic fervor. So that seems good. Will this end up changing our government here? +2 max education investment anyway. That would be a good thing. So all of these rice farms are finishing up. They built quite quickly, of course. And we're continuing to work on just a lot of stuff here, right? There's a whole lot of stuff being built all at once. So we're going to get these rice farms completed. And hopefully that'll get people put to work here. Still chilling at about 10 million overall unemployment. That is rough. No doubt about that. We're doing what we can to get additional jobs here. We may actually want to consider dropping off our health system, which is really awkward. But specifically, the idea behind that would be increasing our mortality rate to reduce our pop growth. But I mean, 2 million annually. It feels like we're building at least 2 million jobs annually. I wish we had a stat on that, how many jobs we're constructing, like how many jobs we've constructed over the last 12-month period. That would be a useful bit of information to have. But we're still working our way through the electricity price. There's no longer a shortage of electricity, which is good. We're going to get these iron mines done, and then we have a bunch of power plants underway. Just generally, it's going to take us a while to get through these power plants. That's understood and is also completely fine. We're probably overbuilding the power plants, but we will be needing more. So that's okay. And compulsory primary school would be very, very good for us. So we'll see what happens with that. But it is time to put a cut in here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to continue working towards addressing our deficit. I'm not sure exactly how we're going to handle that one just yet. I do not want to raise the taxes. What I want is for our GDP to actually grow. That would be good, but things are a bit rough right now. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy Magar, Spartan News, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time. What I really want is to change our taxation law.